I'm 73 years old, and I'm about to say something that might make you uncomfortable. Almost everything you've been taught about aging, success, and life itself is wrong. And the hardest part to accept, the people who were supposed to warn you, parents, teachers, society, either didn't know the truth or never shared it. For the first half of my life, I believed the same stories you probably believe right now. I thought I understood how life worked. I had the job, the house, the reputation. On paper, I was doing everything right. Then, at 52, my life came to a sudden stop. And what I learned in the years that followed completely reshaped how I see time, purpose, and what it actually means to live. Before I explain what happened, you need to know why I'm telling you this. I'm not here to sound insightful or wise. I'm here because my time is limited, and there are truths you need to hear while you still have the chance to act on them. This isn't for me, it's for you. At 52, I experienced what doctors politely called a cardiac episode. In plain language, my heart failed me. I was sitting in a conference room, talking about forecasts and deadlines, when the room tilted and everything went dark. I woke up hours later in a hospital, connected to machines, my wife sitting nearby in tears. The doctors told me I was fortunate. I had just confronted my own death, and they called it luck. But lying there, staring at the ceiling, I realized they were right. Because for the first time in my life, I had no distractions, and that's when the truth hit me. I hadn't really been living. I had been operating on habit, routine, and expectations that weren't even my own. What still troubles me is this. If I had died that day, what would my life have amounted to? A mortgage? A savings account? Titles and accomplishments that would fade from memory almost immediately. There's a lie nearly everyone believes. I've got time. I'll do it later. I'll start living once things settle down. I hear this from people in their 20s, 30s, 40s. When I earn more, I'll slow down. Once I get promoted, I'll breathe. After the kids grow up, I'll enjoy life. When I retire, I'll finally be myself. Let me spare you decades of disappointment. That moment never arrives. The finish line keeps moving. Every achievement unlocks a new demand. You're always reaching for the next thing, and one day you look up and wonder how the years disappeared so quickly. That was my life. I climbed for decades, only to discover I had leaned my ladder against the wrong wall. And time doesn't offer refunds. You don't get to rewind and start fresh. Here's something people rarely admit. Chasing success is a terrible life strategy. I know because I succeeded by every standard I aimed for. Senior roles, financial comfort, professional respect. And none of it filled the space I thought it would. Achievement gives you a brief high, maybe a day or two. Then it fades and you're restless again. So you chase something bigger. It's endless, exhausting. A close friend of mine died at 68. He worked constantly, built a thriving company, took pride in never slowing down. He always said he'd rest next year. Next year never came. A stroke ended everything. At his funeral, his son stood up and said, "My dad accomplished a lot, but I hardly knew him." That's a heavy price to pay. When you look back, your regrets won't be about the mistakes you made. They'll be about the moments you skipped entirely. I don't lose sleep over bad investments or missed deals. What haunts me are the experiences I postponed, the places I never went, the relationships I let weaken, the creative dreams I kept waiting to start, the evenings I chose work over my children. Those absences stay with you, the words you didn't say, the risks you avoided, the love you assumed you'd have time to show. You believe the people in your life will always be there. They won't. My father passed away when I was 45. Our relationship was complicated, and I kept telling myself we'd fix things later. I was busy, distracted, certain there would be another chance. There wasn't. He was gone in a matter of hours. What I regret most isn't the arguments we had, it's the ordinary moments I ignored, the calls I didn't make, the dinners I skipped, the chances to simply show up. There is not always more time. After my heart attack, I changed everything. I stepped away from work that didn't matter. I declined obligations that drained me. I finally said yes to the life I'd been postponing. In the years since, I've learned more about living than I did in the first 5 decades. The truth is simple. Meaningful time with people you care about. Purposeful work that aligns with your values. Experiences over possessions. Attention over accumulation. I know how this sounds. I would have dismissed it too. And no, I'm not telling you to abandon responsibility. I'm telling you to stop trading what truly matters for things that won't matter later. Ask yourself this, honestly. If today were your last day, would you feel at peace with how you've lived so far? Not whether others would admire your resume, not whether you checked enough boxes, just whether you'd feel content. If the answer is no, ask yourself what you're waiting for. What task or deadline feels so important that it's worth risking your only life? I wake up every morning aware that my time is borrowed. We all live on borrowed time. The difference is that most people don't realize it until it's too late. I have grandchildren now. When I watch them, I recognize the same patterns I once lived by. Stress, urgency, constant striving. They're running hard without seeing where the road leads. I try to tell them what I've learned, but it's difficult to hear wisdom while you're in the middle of the storm. Everyone believes their situation is different. That's why I'm sharing this, because maybe someone will hear it early enough to choose differently. Each day brings you closer to the end. No one likes to think about that, but denial doesn't stop the clock. Neither you nor the people you love are guaranteed tomorrow. Your parents are aging. Your relationships are temporary. Nothing stays forever. So what will you do? Delay another conversation? Cancel another trip? Promise yourself you'll start living later? Or will you decide today to treat your time as the limited resource it is. If I could speak to my younger self, I'd say this: stop performing for people who don't matter. Stop sacrificing your health for status. Stop postponing joy. Stop waiting for permission. Call the people you love. Go where your curiosity pulls you. Do the things that scare you a little. Protect your energy. Say yes to what nourishes you. Most importantly, start now, not after the next milestone, not when conditions improve, not when everything feels ready, because it never will. Life is chaotic by nature. If you wait for calm, you'll wait forever. I don't know how much time I have left. 10 years, maybe more, maybe less. And I'm at peace with that, because these later years have been the fullest of my life. Not because of income or titles, but because I finally chose intention, presence, gratitude. I traveled. I repaired relationships. I created instead of postponing. I forgave. I spoke love out loud. I'm happier now, with fewer years ahead, than I was when I believed time was endless. That's the paradox. When you accept that time is finite, you stop wasting it. You have a decision to make right now. Keep living the same way, delaying fulfillment, or wake up and realize the life you're waiting for begins today. I can't decide for you, but I can tell you this: you don't want to reach this age wishing you'd chosen differently. Don't spend decades learning what you could understand now. Live deliberately. Focus on what matters. Stop waiting for someday. Someday is today. The clock is moving. What will you do with your time?